You think your child's being oppositional, but their brain may just be stuck in survival moment. Here's what's really behind those no moments. Why do oppositional behaviors, why do they happen? What's really going on in their brain? And I know oppositional defiance is technically a clinical disorder, but it's really a clinical disorder in the DSM so they can medicate you. It's really a behavior that can occur with any child, but it also is a behavior that's associated with a lot of other clinical disorders, ADHD, pathological demand avoidance, autism, mood disorder, you name it. It's a behavior that happens. Why does it happen a lot for some kids? One, the brain is in survival mode. You know that stress builds up in the nervous system. Our emotional centers in our brain and our frontal cortexes. You move into a stress state, logic and reasoning goes offline, shuts down. That no is a stress response. It's not a strategy that they're trying to do to avoid things most of the time. What happens is they're just too activated. Think about yourself, right? I'm such an empath. Think about the last time you were agitated or frustrated and somebody asked you to do one more thing and you were like, no. Why are kids any different? We're just not understanding the kind of stressors that they're experiencing. Why else did it happen? Anxious avoidance. In that same way that our brain goes into survival mode, kids on a subconscious level have learned that when I'm anxious, if I avoid certain things, if I say no, I keep my anxiety levels lower. They learn that becomes their coping mechanism. A lot of these ODD kids, a lot of these kids diagnosed with oppositional defiance disorder really have anxiety or OCD. They can even have depression. And they get labeled with this, which is much more feels like they're gonna become criminals or so out of control, and it's a high conflict situation, and the more dysregulated you are, the more dysregulated they are. Another reason is just that stress cup spillover. Make sure you go back and listen to that episode, but their nervous system is already full. The kids that really display a lot of oppositional behaviors just know they have an activated nervous system that is teetering all the time in this sympathetic dominant state. That's our autonomic nervous system. That's what manages stress. We should be in a nice, relaxed parasympathetic state, but instead we move into this sympathetic dominant. Every transition, every sensory component, every request is like one last drop on their nervous system. Then another reason is loss of control. We know the research that control actually is when we feel that we have healthy control, that we are much happier. On the opposite of that, when we have a loss of control, it triggers this fight response. Oh, what's going on? It's not manipulation, it's our nervous system struggling to gain safety by saying no, because that's the only way they feel in control. And as you're learning, there's lots of ways fight, flight, freeze, fawn that our body will respond when it's in this ultimate sympathetic dominant stress activated state. Think of oppositional behaviors like a locked door. The more you push, the harder it resists. But when you regulate first, it's like turning the key. The resistance softens, the door finally opens. You can't get in to a locked door unless you have the key. Okay. Not unless you're, I don't know, Superman, the Hulk. Maritza had told me her mornings were like a war. She would lay in her bed and be like, oh boy, I got to deal with her. And she'd ask her daughter to get dressed. It led into yelling, slamming refusal. And she's like, we got to get dressed every day. And she just didn't want to transition out of her PJs. When she was really young, she would get her dressed. It's just turned into this battle of tears. And then she realized, I've got to do something. This can't go on. She had other kids that were younger. What kind of pattern was she setting? And it just felt awful. It just really centered on getting dressed. She actually liked going to school. We had problem solved a lot of other things and thought about it. This was just a hard thing for her. There were some sensory issues. There were some different components. She also liked to kind of like hang out in the morning. And as she got older, there was less less time for that. And especially also too, the siblings demanded more attention and time. The mom started regulating first, pausing before she went in there, and then she offered her 2 choices. I was like, "You could send her to a private school, you really can only have 1 choice." But that wasn't the issue. She just didn't wanna get out of her PJs. So she offered her 2 choices, and she would just sit there and be quiet and calm. She didn't force it. I also had her get up 10 minutes earlier and had her dress her daughter before she dressed the other kids. What happened was her daughter did resist, or obviously initially at first, but then things sort of quieted down, mornings became calmer. She still got her up 10 minutes earlier and gave her 10 minutes of extra time, but she didn't have to be there anymore. And then they were able to get out. Really, for her, she needed some more transition time, but she also needed choices. So just know that, like in the case of this kid, your child isn't really saying no. What they're saying is, I can't do this right now. When you start seeing this as that, start shifting things. What's the key here? We got to regulate first. How do we turn around these oppositional behaviors in 3 steps? Because I like to simplify. Number 1, we're going to regulate first. You can't go in hot when they're hot. You can't go in hot, period. You can't be in the red. Neither one of you can be in that red. Traffic light can't be in red. And that's just the signal that you need to breathe through it. You need to calm yourself. You need to do some type of physical exercise to shake it off. That if you're in fight mode, they're going to be in fight mode. And if they're in fight mode, they're going to try to trigger your fight mode. That's just the way biology works. Their brain is going to read danger and dig in harder. Your calm is going to signal that safety that can just crack open that door. It's not the only thing that's going to happen. Step 2, just like with Maritza, we got to offer 2 choices. Do not offer more than that. Don't say, "Do you want to do that?" No. Here are the 2 choices. Instead of saying, "Oh, do you want to have a fruit?" No. Do you want the berries or do you want the the apple? This is how it works in my house. When we offer choices, it restores that control for them. They need control. Opposition thrives on power struggles. So choices give that your child agency without giving up structure. You don't have to feel like, "Well, I'm giving in." They need some control to feel that they can move on to the next step. This is subconscious, people. Number 3, we're going to reframe our request. Do it now feels like a threat to a dysregulated brain. Breaking that cycle of threatening is the first step. We can stay, let's start with this. It shrinks that overwhelm, makes the task feel doable because your kid's choking on it and what you're doing isn't working. The first this, then that language can really shift things. I talk a lot about this in my book. I can't wait to teach you more about this. I love this book so much, and everybody who's read it has cried. I just want you to know. It's just such a great it's not only a practical book, you're gonna feel very emotionally connected to it. I'm so proud of it. Can't wait to share it with you. Get on the Dysregulation Insider, drroseann.com/newsletter to make sure you are keeping up with what's in the book. What are we doing this week? Right now, because again, I need you moving your coolie, okay? My regulators. Mr. Hodge says we need a boat or something that we can call it the regulators. I like that. It's very sassy. I love it. Shoot me an email if you love it, or drop it in if you're on YouTube. Say, Dr. Rowe, I love being called the regulators. Sassy. This week, when you notice a no moment, you're going to pause, you're going to regulate and give one choice, one small choice. Watch what happens. If your kid's too dysregulated, what are you going to do? You're going to breathe, you're going to pause, go through it. If you need more help regulating, go back and watch some of those videos, go and watch the comms to do that. And just know oppositional behaviors is not disrespect. It's about survival. It's their survival brain. We are equipped with this system that is accidentally going off too easily. Okay. It's sort of like that smoke detector that you're like, what? I was just making something under the broiler. I got one little bit of smoke and it's going off. When you regulate first and give back safe control, you can finally turn that no into an okay. If you want more calm first parenting tools, all you have to do is sign up for Dysregulation Insider. It's going to give you tools in your inbox every week. Just go to drroseann.com dysregulation.com/newsletter.
Want more insights and solutions? Well, subscribe to our Dysregulation Insider, and it will show up in your inbox every week.